This video is made for adult collectors because my entire desk is being taken up by the G.I. Joe Rattler right now. The HasLab arrived and it's really cool. Let's see if it survives going up with my desk. Okay, the desk can lift it. That's good. It hasn't fallen yet. That's good. Oh. Ooh, what? It's made it. Hooray! This thing is fantastic. So I had a doctor's appointment just before this, like 25 minutes away from me. So I decided to check the Walmart close by just to see what was there on my way home before work. And lo and behold, I found that. I found that. I found that. And I found another one of that. Yes, I bought two. One of them's for a friend of mine, but we're not here to talk about this stuff. We're to talk about how expensive this idiot is. I really like the concept of missing link, but the one thing I don't like is the price. Now, I have no clue how these are made. I know that a lot of the older G1 toys used copper molds that are like, they broke down easily, so a lot of them are lost to time. So perhaps these have to be recreated from scratch, like 3D scanning old toys and stuff, and that makes them more expensive. But 130 Canadian dollars expensive? I don't know. Actually, I do know the answer, and that's no, at least from a consumer's perspective. Don't get me wrong, this thing is epic, but does it command that price? Well, let's talk about why I don't think it does. This is Missing Link Sunstreaker, and I'm gonna start in car mode because I don't know, it feels like that's just gonna make the video flow better. Look, I have the original to compare this to, and it's like spot on. Some people I know have questioned why Sunstreaker after Prime and B. Those first three, well, four if you count Sentinel, make sense because they're the most recognizable characters in the franchise, and Cliffjumper. But Sunstreaker was technically the first Transformer ever made. Kojin Ono, I don't think I'm getting that right, and I apologize, is a Takara designer that designed the first car transforming toys for Diaclone, the first one which would later end up becoming Sunstreaker. So yeah, this is technically the first one ever made, and it's a bit of a feat, and it kind of deserves being one of the first Missing Link toys after the launch of the most recognizable characters. Anyways, car looks nice. I love this shade of yellow, and my camera doesn't. It doesn't shoot well with yellow because it's kind of old, but in person the yellow is a lot more vibrant. I also love the bits of air intake on the back, and the chrome looks sharp. No, sharp, not shark. The tires are rubber too, which is neat. What's also cool about this set is that it comes with a Diaclone driver that fits inside. I kind of wish Optimus and Sentinel came with that. And I like these bits of red back here because the original toy brought the wrong stickers. I remember hearing, and I could be wrong, but I remember hearing the original plan was to bring the red one over as Sunstreaker and then the yellow other Lambo over as Sideswipe, but they changed their minds, but the stickers didn't change or something, so we got red stickers here. It's kind of funny. You can store the weird cones on the back of the car if you don't want the parts form, which I think is nice. The original could also do that. So if you've ever transformed this, panel doesn't want to stay. If you've ever transformed this before, it's Missing Link. It's very similar. This does do a couple of things different from this, and like this is just really simple. You just like bring these out, like that. Bring that up, bring that down. This entire assembly just sort of folds in. You got to make sure that's all swung out. Pull the legs down, flip the feet up. This is really old, so this copy's kind of loose. This one, though, they do quite a bit, so there's no parts forming, right? You can leave these on, the hands are inside. There's a couple of extra things the torso does to sort of clean up a little bit more, and then the leg split. Also, the rub sign's going off because it's so bloody hot in this room. So to start with, we're going to open the cockpit up. Then we're going to bring this panel down, bring this section out. Why do I call that a cockpit? It's a canopy, it's a windshield. Bring this out, rotate those around. And then we're going to do the weird double hinge thing, which does take a little bit of getting used to. So you want to bring this entire assembly up, and you can leave this guy in here. He doesn't have to come out. And it's on this like double hinged thing back here. So you want to bring it so that it accordions like that in. So like that, leaving this piece where it is. You bring this section down, and it will just sort of tuck in under here. Then you close up the windshield, thus latching the Diaclone driver into place. Bring this panel back up, fold up the head. And then you want to bring the legs down, like that, split the legs, and then push them out and fold them up. They're on ratchets. Push them out, fold them up, and then the heels will curve and you have to like straighten them out there. So once you get him standing, just get him standing up straight there, you want to open up the arms and then flip out the fists underneath, but you can also, where'd they go? Just like, that's the wrong, these are the really old Sunstreaker fists. Where are the new ones? Take the new ones and you can plug them into here if you want that look. This arm is also backwards. But there you have Missing Link Sunstreaker all transformed. So there's a couple of different things that it does over the old one, which I think are really cool and very much needed improvements. However, he sits on his wheels. So what you kind of have to do is you kind of have to take these heels here and sort of angle them a bit more down so they look a bit curved, and then he stands up perfectly fine. Yep, that looks as awkward as G1 Sunstreaker, but I love it. I like the way this looks with the black on the legs, the really low windshield, and the back set head. It's so funny looking. I also love how it comes with the optional big fists if you want to do that and look like the original, but then you lose the open and closing hands. I'm not the biggest fan of the heels and how they work. Like I said, they look funny and like moving on their own, and then he falls over every once in a while because of where the wheels are. It's a bit weird to work with. They do work, it's just strange. He comes with a gun, which I misspelled as fun. A generic Bumblebee movie shaped gun, which is, I find that very funny, but also I kind of like how Transformers has sort of just settled on a generic shape for its guns now, and that's just the Bumblebee movie handguns. He also comes with 3 missiles on a sprue that I don't want to take off. I'm just going to leave them on there. He feels nice and hefty too, with some die-cast parts inside, and being Missing Link, he has articulation. So, bro is packed with articulation. So again, a reminder of what this one's articulation was, that the head could look down, shoulders can go out, you have elbow joint, you technically have a wrist swivel, and then the toes droop. That was all this guy could do. His stupid panel won't stay upright. I think after this video is done, I'm gonna get rid of this guy to my local shop because like I don't need it anymore. I have this. And this thing's articulation is quite good. So the head can rotate. He can look up that far and he can look down that far. The shoulders can rotate, they can do a full 360. They can go out here at this joint and then out here at this joint. So you can get the arm to go all the way up. You have bicep rotation. You have a single jointed elbow that bends 90 degrees and it bends 90 degrees the other way. You do have a wrist hinge and then the fingers can open and close. There is no waist joint, and given how all of this sits in here and how these hips work and where the windshield goes, I can kind of see why. Like this has to be here as well. There's like no space for one. It's a little bit of a bummer, but I at least I get it. The hips do the Studio Series 102 thing to get around this, so they can go forward that far. They can only go back about that far. You do have a full outward motion. You do have a thigh rotation. You have a double jointed knee that bends a bit strange, because as you can see in there, that's a bit weird. And when you're bending it back, if you're just not paying attention, it does this, and then this collides with the shin, and it doesn't sit straight. So you have to just pay attention and make sure you bend it like that so it bends straight. Otherwise, you're like, oh, double joint, and then it's like, oh, what's happening? It's just a bit weird. Then the feet can ratchet down, they can go up. You do have ankle tilt, and the heels can also tilt as well. And the heels, like I said, like to kind of move a little bit by themselves, so you gotta sort of push them down when you sit him on the table. And this one's panel actually latches in, thank God. But he does have quite a lot of articulation. It is a bit awkward with these little stalks here that they do bump into his head when you move the shoulder out. But you can do that rather than move these and then still rotate this. So it just looks, that looks so dumb. So yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff here, but this is way too expensive. 100 Canadian dollars, I would probably swallow a bit better. 80 Canadian dollars is like my sweet spot for something like this. 130 is rough. It's rough. And at that price, I don't really recommend it. If like Hobby Yankee gets more at this price, it'd be better. They had it for like 80 Canadian or something. They do have RC for super duper cheap. I'll leave an affiliate link in the description below if you want to pre-order RC from them, because it's a whole lot cheaper than it is everywhere else. But as this stands now, nah. I like this, but I don't like it enough to want to spend that much money on it. I did spend that much money on it, but that's been my look at Missing Link Sunstreaker. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.